My first taste of Nebraska had me wondering whether I should hit the ditch, hit the dirt, or hit the road. I'm Lacey Shippy with The Good Life. Tom T. Hall once sang, "I don't know which way is best, but I think I'll be headed west." And as a college kid, I lived by those words. I couldn't wait to head west. I had places to see, people to meet, and stories to write. Oh, would I have stories to write. So once I graduated college, I loaded up my pickup and a U-Haul trailer, tossed in the dog, and headed for Nebraska. I took along a sister, too, for the road trip out, who didn't do a single lick of driving and was a poor navigator, but she was up for adventure and could carry a box when it came time to unload. After several days of traveling, we were finally there. I rolled into the tiniest village I'd encountered in all my years at that point, Coal Ridge, Nebraska. I remember thinking the first time I saw that sign that the whole town's population was smaller than my high school graduating class. We passed a couple churches and a very small bar named Lonnie's. I'd soon learn that those two things are all that's really required for a Midwestern town. My apartment was on the edge of town. They were little one-bedroom places designed with senior citizens in mind, but once you got past the extra handrails and emergency pull string on the wall, it was cozy, and they allowed pets, which was a priority for my sidekick, the beagle. I imagined our morning walks through a quiet, peaceful little community and down dirt roads that stretched as far as I could see with corn and soybean fields right out my door. Traffic didn't hardly exist. The air was fresh and so open to a bright blue, beautiful summer sky. It truly was the biggest and the smallest place on earth. The two of us hauled in what little furniture I brought and the boxes of mementos from home to remind me of the mountains of Virginia. Up and down the sidewalk we marched. It was about noon when we were carrying in the pieces of bed frame when out of nowhere, the loudest siren we had ever heard blared across the entire town. With looks of terror, we stared at each other. We knew what a tornado siren was, but we'd never heard one ourselves. We looked at each other, looked at the cloudless sky, and then back to each other. Dashing inside with bed rails in hand, confusion on our faces, we sat, clueless. With no neighbors out and about, we couldn't ask if something was wrong. So after a while, we decided that all was well and it must have been a mistake. It was only later on that evening, when the unit's maintenance man showed up to turn on the hot water, that we had someone to ask. "Oh, that," he said, with a goofy grin that suggested our question was rather amusing. "That's the lunch whistle. Welcome to Nebraska." This is The Good Life. I'm Lacey Shippy. If you have a story to tell, a memory, a poem, or just some thoughts to share about the good life in Nebraska, email them to lshippy@ruralradio.com. That's LSHIPPY@ruralradio.com.